gentleman handshake. Joking. I'm joking, bro. I'm joking, yeah, nah. Bro. Fam, can't lie. I've missed this. Apologies, yeah, from both of us. It's been
100%.
2 months. Bloody hell, that's a long time. Me and Rocky had a lot of stuff to sort out, man. Especially, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, so we just had to sort that stuff out. But
We've learned a lot.
yeah, I've seen that a couple people actually, yeah, face to face, people's been saying that they've liked the episodes we've been doing. So thank you for the support and that. Yeah, no, we really appreciate that. I mean, really, we're just talking about life and just trying to like push it onto you guys. Really, stuff that we've learned, stuff that people's have passed on to us. That's really what it's about. Really, just trying to elevate everyone. You get it. So, yeah, that's what really this channel's about. And welcome to Sticking to the Real, whoever is new.
Exactly. It's all about giving the real side of everything to you. And it's for ourselves, it's for yourselves, it's for everyone that wants to stick to the real.
Yeah, man. Cause
so, how do we start off today? Let's just start it off.
Well, I think there was something that you wanted to speak up on. Like, I think one part would just probably just go life. That's a big topic there. So many things go into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's basically, this is more of a talk where we give what we've learned so far. Even in these 2 months have been a lot for everything. Love and social life, health, wealth, like, you know, building a career, life itself, you know, life advice and life, you know, experiences that taught wisdom in that. And also about, like, you know, I like what Ty Lopez says, health, wealth, love, social life and happiness, right? Because it puts in such a good set of categories for an overall understanding of what life is, yeah, for a good life. The pillars of the good life is what he calls it. So, you know, and we've learned little things as well about happiness, fulfillment, everything like that. So, yeah, I think 2 months even, so much can happen in so many ways. And it's like, for me, I would say it's been more on the love and social life aspect, and also really life overall, you know, like actually understanding certain things of life have really changed me and how I see things. So yeah, we can go on to that. BK, have you got anything else to say first?
No.
Yeah, I think to start off with life, actually, how about you say about what you realised about realism,
right,
compared to that, and we can kick it off with everything else.
Okay, so you know what? Yeah, so me and Rocky will probably say what we've learned from the past 2 months. So yeah, some stuff has happened. See, this is why I'm trying to talk. Intertwine. See, I'm trying to talk smart, but sometimes like my mouth don't want to do it. So allow it.
Having a stroke.
Yeah. Oh boy, but yeah, nah, man. But real talk though. One thing I did realize, I don't really want to long it out, because then, you know, when we talk, goes on for hours.
Yeah, hours.
It's not saying that we just talk nonsense. No, what we talking really does matter, because then we take lessons from each other. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So
it's more even just
yeah.
We go on to a point, but there's so many points in that one big point that you can further expand on. So that's why
we always like to attack the point from each angle. Like we're that type of person. But that yeah. So what I did learn was, all right, cool. So I don't think you lot know our ages. I'm 23.
23.
Yeah, so both 23. So we're both at uni.
Well, he just graduated.
Yeah, I just graduated from marketing and social media. Yeah. So I just graduated. So what I did learn was, so around June, that is when basically my university like path kind of ended, because that's when I basically handed in my dissertation. So after that, it was just literally I just chilled a little bit and then got into some of the stuff that I needed to catch up on, because, you know, with the dissertation, whoever done uni before, bloody hell, that's some hard stuff. That's 10,000. I did 10,000 words. I know some people did more, but I'm just saying like it's a lot of words, and because you need to construct it correctly and well. Yeah, I did get a good grade on it as well. So, but so the thing was, yeah. So straight after completing the dissertation, I chilled. I did a little bit of music with my older brothers and my friends. Just basically schemed a bit with some of my other friends, my other brethren, about like what businesses we can do and that. So after scheming a lot, I love to scheme. I just love to make plans on that and see what I can achieve and what's the next thing to attack. Because I'm an attacker. I'm not really a defender.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So what thing I did realize was this. Personally, for me, I've actually never had a full contract 9-to-5 job. I've only done like maybe agency work or maybe worked at my uncle's place, innit? Or what do you call it? Or might have done a little small minor job with my one of my boys. Yeah, so so coming from all of that and having that in all my head, and because I've been doing quite well, and I from a young age I got taught by my father and my other brethren about saving money. So all of that stuff was quite me saving money and I had a nice amount of cash and that. So I thought, oh, I could invest into this, invest into that. But then in the long run, I thought it's not really realistic, is it? Because I wanted to do the masters. That was one other thing I wanted to. That's another goal I wanted to score. I'm a striker. I just wanted to score. I just want to score goals. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm thinking, I've just graduated. Now I'm 23 years old. I've just finished university. I've come to the part of the stage after university now. And now I'm thinking like, whoosh, that debt is like, I think that's like 30, yeah, that's 35 grand. That's 35 bags. 35 bags. And I gotta pay that back. And I'm 23 years old and I'm thinking there's so much of this stuff I wanna do. And now I'm thinking like, cool, financially it's not making sense for me to do all these things, because then I wanna do the masters and that's another 15 bags. That's 50k in a year's time.
Yeah, a lot.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I know I didn't really want to do that. So it was a thing where it was like, swallow your pride, man. Like, swallow your pride. Because remember when we said something about if you don't change, you'll be so predictable and you will never elevate. If you remember us saying that last episode
About Napoleon.
Yeah, about Napoleon. Remember when Napoleon, he didn't change, he kept to the same tactics, he got destroyed, man. I don't want to be destroyed. I don't want to stay the same. Now, normally I change towards the end of the year because I always
reflect.
Yeah, reflect. That's the word I wanted. I always reflect. But I did the reflecting early because I thought, okay, I'm turning 24 in November now. So it's a thing where it's like, all right, now let's just start stacking. Because you want to do so many things and you know them things cost money. It's not saying that you don't have the money, but it's just like, if you wanted to do all those schemes, but you wanted to do the masters as well, that's 15 bags. It just wasn't making sense. So I had to swallow my pride, think realistically about my life, and that was a big lesson I learned, where it was like the realism, where you have to be real with yourself. Because personally, for me, I thought I want to own my own business and all this stuff. When I really thought about it, I said, nah, that's not happening, because that stuff just don't fall into place just like that. Even after if you do the masters, I'll be honest with you, uni, it's all great doing a degree and that, but it's almost like a false thing where it's like you get the job straight away. Now the thing is, how many of us get a career job? I'm not talking about any other job. I mean a career job after university. Not many of us, only a small minority of us actually do. So I had to take that into consideration and slap myself and say, realistically, let me take this job that my father has brought into for me to join, and that is actually a career job. So I swallowed my pride, and now I've been at the job for like a month and a month and 3 weeks or something like that. The 12th of September will be my second. It'll be 2 months. So yeah, that's one lesson I learned. That's a experience. I thought, bloody hell, like that really slapped me on the chin, where I am even more hungry now.
Okay, 3 questions. Yeah, 2 mainly.
Yeah.
So first of all, what actually? Because now you understand the real importance of realism, right? So, what actually clouded your judgment before that to not see the true realism?
I think it was because I was so stuck to one way of thinking, where I've been doing it from like you know what innit?
Yeah.
So I stuck to that mindset. I stuck to that mindset, and that's the thing where you see how Napoleon didn't change his mindset. The man got destroyed, man. Like I said, sometimes you got to take loss, but personally for me, if I start seeing a loss, that's when I retreat and I start rethinking. Okay, rethink my tactics, rethink my strategy, and that's what I did. I had to go back to the battleship and strategize and rethink stuff. And now I'm back on the attacking front.
So question as well, right, in that sense as well, because that makes sense. So you go, how can you change that? How can you get to that point of, so first of all, what causes that? And you said, right, it's being stuck in the old ways, right?
Yeah.
But how can you get to that realism point? Is it mainly having the people around you that are realists, and so that they can, they can actually set you straight, like, listen, I don't think X, Y, and Z is happening correctly, and you got it wrong. But
the thing is, was because people have said that like over the years before, but then when it got to this certain part of my life, and I'm 23, it's because I wanted to do so well, and I want to do so well, and I want to do well for people around me, like you, including you, because the way, if I think like this, and the way I'm thinking, I want to push it onto everyone else, because then everyone will start elevating themselves in a certain good way, and they'll stick to the path.
100.
So that is probably mainly the reason why I led to thinking like that, because I thought, all right, cool. Everyone knows you as this person, and you're so ambitious of everything, but you don't want that ambition to be killed. So it's a thing where I think it was where my safety mechanism came in and thought, hold on now a second. I started sitting and started like rethinking I started mind mapping my whole life. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I started mind mapping it.
It's important though.
Yeah, so I put the factors that came in: age, where I'm living right now, who I'm with right now, the people who's around me, what is the career path I want to do, what are the schemes I want to do, what do you actually want to be.
That's hard. I never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
Like, mind map your life, like, yo.
Yeah.
You get me?
So
hard.
It was a thing where, what the funny thing is, all of these dots, all of these things on the mind map connect to each other. Because in that mind map, when you put that circle, ME, that's me, that's you. All of the stuff you think about, and all the factors, they all connect to you, because it's all in your life. If you understand me. So that was really the reason why I led to that thinking, because I thought, and another thing was, my parents want to retire. So it was a thing where there's a point where I wanted to step up on another level. I want to step up more. Especially of like, they trust me. I've come to I gained their trust a lot. My sin.
Yeah.
So personally, that was really special to me. like my parents, and my parents are very special to me. My grandma, all the people that's close to me are very special to me. So I had to change for them. Especially my ways and my thinking, just so then I can score, just so I can score all my goals. Top striker. I want, you know what I'm saying, and be corrected and stay on the path I want to go. I remember someone at work, when I went to the interview, he's known me from here, like a little. He said, they asked me what plan I want. I said I want to make a business. I didn't say the business, innit? I just said I want to make a business, and I said probably in the next decade or maybe 12 years, then that's when it will probably fall into place. He said, "Oh, that probably won't happen. You probably will stay at this career, at this job that you got now, because you'll be comfortable and you're earning a good amount of money." No, you do not. That's the thing. I don't want to do that, because then everything I want to do and everything that I bloody sacrificed for 3 years or 5, 6 years and stuff I've learned, stuff I've gone through, that's just gonna go down the bin, the drain. I don't want that. Do you know what I'm saying? So no, I won't get comfortable. But however, I will use that. I'll use that job as my stepping stone, and mainly, like, you know, a backbone, because it is a good amount of money, and the fact is it can fund a lot of the stuff that we want to do. There's some stuff I still want to do with Rocky, but we need to brainstorm, and this job will help us.
I think it's one of them things.
Yeah,
I have to rethink
about
my 100%. But it's right. 100%. There's 3 things really that I realised as you're speaking. Many things actually, but 3 main ones. Even before the first thing was, you know, like even the degrees, right? Most things are oversaturated, just too saturated. You got 10 people with the same degree, but then that's not in one uni, that's in all the other unis. So now you've got 60 people maybe that have just graduated with the same degree. Yeah. And for how many companies? There's not many top companies.
And another thing is, you will be on a shortlist. You're on a shortlist, and then the shortlist keeps getting cut down, and then it'll be to the final 5. I don't have time to wait. We got ambitions, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I just don't have time for that. I'll be honest with you. And time, they say don't waste time. Time is special. And that's one thing why I take into consideration. I'm not waiting for someone to say, "Oh yeah, no, he's the candidate we want." Nah, I don't have time for that. I'll be honest with you.
You know what though? Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I think it's like that happens anyway. That's the natural path, right?
It is.
But you have to think outside the box, as we said even before about war mentality. But that's just how life works. If it was me, I would figure out, I've got this degree, and this is the company I want to go to, and the person running that is this person. How can I get into his life in some way, even if it's by every day I'll come up with coffee in the morning. By the door. Like they have to be willing to go. You get it? Like doing that, and that's how you get down a short list. Because they go, you know what? He's actually willing. With that attitude to get to that place. So, but 100%, it's just too oversaturated.
You know what it is? It's like, it's completely. I'm not saying there's a right way or wrong way. It's just that personally for me, I'm not saying I don't have confidence and all that stuff. No, it's not that. It's just that there is a lot of honey in the jar. It's a weird analogy, but there is a lot of honey in the jar.
But okay,
I'm part of the honey. There is a lot of, because you know when you
I get what you mean.
The honey, like, I know it's a weird analogy there, but like there's a lot of honey in that jar, man.
Like a lot of gold or whatever it is, a lot of whatever.
And it's like they got us like, and the thing is, it's like, oh, this batch. Is that right? Because you know how you have big jar, big
you don't belong
containers.
You don't belong in that. You have more.
So it's a thing. They will always choose. Oh, which one is the best one? And then you're gonna be put into a bottle and is this?
I get what you mean. Analogy is like there's so many bottles already, right?
Yeah.
So how can you even get to that position of, oh, you're the main one?
Yeah.
They're gonna just go through picking and picking,
Yeah.
and there's just so many obstacles along the way.
Yeah.
And how long do you wait for? In recruitment, that's what I realized as well.
Yeah.
There's bare people. There's so many people with degrees. So many that I was reading the CVs, and it was like degree in this, degree in that, and how long ago? 10 years ago. But you're still on 60K. What have you done? And then when you speak to them, you realize they've just been thrown into the pile like everybody else. They've been sold a dream that is not a realistic dream, you know? They say work hard in one company. It's not like that anymore. It used to be like that. It used to be like that maybe 20 even, 20, 30 years ago, really, where it would be like, you get a good degree or good education and you get into a company and most likely you would stay in that company for the rest of your life and you retire well. But nowadays it's like, it's such a I was gonna say pandemic in a sense of, or epidemic really. It's such an epidemic of quick. I was gonna say like there's not much delayed gratification, right? Overall, and it sounds crazy. Like how does that make sense? But you go, even the employers don't look at the long term of what you are. They look at the short term. What can you do for me right now for the next year or two? But if someone else comes along that's better, quote unquote, they go, piss off. We don't need you anymore. That's what I realize in so many of these companies, not realizing that that person might actually become a director one day, but you cut it short because you want the next best thing for your company. And that's a big problem as well in that sense. So it's about, that's also being realistic, realizing that's what most companies are on right now. You will see it look at the news, look how many people are, there's a new CEO for this, there's a new director for this, there's a new employee for this. And it happens so often, every few months. Sometimes even after a year or two. And it's like, what the hell? So, yeah, I mean, BK is definitely right. You want to be able to understand the realist perspective on a lot of things. And it's like, it's scary because it's like, who sells you their dream in the first place?
Schools.
It's true, like...
Schools, college and uni.
And you go like something I realized recently, and it's something I told this person where it's like, basically in that sense as well. So BK was just saying about, you know, being a realist in that aspect. That's what he's learned so far. Like, actually, sometimes we overestimate the optimism, and it's like it's not always like that, right? So that's one big lesson that we've learned so far as well. I learned that in my way as well, but that's very much BK's thing right now, in a sense. But also something I've learned, which was really recent, this was like a few days ago, right? Where it was like, so I learned a lot more in the sense of love and social life, like recently, especially because we're getting to that stage where it's like, you want to understand who you are, what do you want, and where do you want to go overall in life, right? And I learned a lot as well about everything is love and social life. Everything. There is nothing that you can't, there is nothing you can do really without having to at least see somebody. There is nothing. You want to go to the bank? What, you got your own bank? No. You're going to have to speak to the person. You want to call you have your phone, but you want a SIM card, because how can you call without a SIM card? You have to speak to someone. Top up the card if you have some top up thing or whatever. But it's love and social life is everything. If you have wealth, doesn't matter if you have nobody to distribute it to. It doesn't mean anything. If you have the biggest mansions, you can have 20 mansions. What, you're going to go to each one and you feel happy? No. Like, you feel happy if you bring your family to one, family in this one, and whatever it is. And then love and social life overall, you know, friends, family. Imagine you went out to the cinema and it's always by yourself. You can just do that at home. There would be no need to go to cinema.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something like that. But I realize also, one piece of advice that you have to understand, and this is like crucial, it's like, be wary who you ask advice. Be wary who you get advice from and who you ask advice to, whatever. I don't know if that even worded correctly, but
No.
be wary of who you ask advice from, you know, and or who you take advice from, because, like, are they the person you want to be like? That's the question. Because if you take it from everybody, you're just going to be stuck in a circle of stupidity, because you're going to be going from one thing to the other, to that one thing to the other. So the reason why I say this is because, you know, with the person, I said, and even another thing, but the first thing is like, You know, I said, how are you asking advice about a relationship to even like that? It was one of their parents, yeah? But the parent has, well, shouldn't be saying this shit. But I'll stick it to the rule. It is what it is. You know what?
Well, you're not saying no
all
names,
hell is
innit?
gonna break loose because the person's gonna watch it.
You're not saying no
It's
names,
love to them
innit?
anyway, but it's just what I've learned, right? It's whatever, even for myself. No, I'll say it for myself, right? So, my mum and dad, they're not as the perfect, ideal, oh my God, relationship type. They're not, right? So it's like me asking my mum or my dad, whichever one, yeah, about how do you keep a relationship going for X amount of years? Yeah, but you didn't really have that. So what advice can you give me? That's what I learned earlier on. I learned this last year, really. So when I was at work, I used to ask the people that I admire. Like, there's a guy that came in and they seemed so happy with each other. The wife and the husband, yeah? Yeah, the wife and the husband. And I asked, like, how long you been married for? Like, and he was like 40 years. So, fuck, like, 40 years. That's two of my lifetimes basically close to. Basically two of my lifetimes, really. Yeah? Or close to that. So you go, how? Like, how did you get to that? And he was like compromising, X, Y, and Z. But the whole point is, he's actually someone I'd want to be like in a sense of that aspect of life, which is a relationship or love. Because that's not even, if he can maintain one person, he can maintain friends. He can maintain relationship in business. He can maintain a relationship overall. Because what in friends in friendships you compromise. Or you might want to go do this. Oh, well, it's not my complete cup of tea type of shit, but I'll still go do it. That's compromising. Imagine if he's always like, no, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go here. No, it's all me. How are you gonna get to that? And so when I learned that, I was like, wow, like. But the whole point is, if I ask that person has the truest evidence-based advice, because I can see it. I go, you 40 years, and he was like, there is always going to be ups and downs. That's with any type of relationship, even with family. Tell me one time you never had an argument with your mom and dad, you know, in your lifetime. It's always going to be something, because you have if you're an individual, a real individual, you're going to clash, because nobody's like you. So, yeah, and that's something I told a person. I said, hey, you're either gonna be ignorant, naive, or you're gonna have to learn the truth. And I didn't also get that from me, Ty Lopez, because I used to have group calls and there used to be loads of them, but I get to ask questions, which I was very fortunate. And he also said that. He said one piece of advice he would tell himself was, be careful who you listen to, and realize that most people are as lost as you, or even worse. There's hardly many people that are complete in their true path. But find those that found the truth, and listen to them and learn from them, right? So, yeah, like, that's one big advice that I would say. Like, if it's not someone you want to be like, take the advice with a pinch of, take, like, what do they say, pinch of salt? What the fuck is it called? I don't even know.
Salt.
Yeah, I think that's wrong though. I don't even know.
I don't know.
Fuck, I think that's wrong.
I just heard a pinch of salt.
A pinch of salt, yeah, I was gonna say that. But whatever it is, like, you get it like a tiny bit. Just take it, listen, like, hear it, but don't listen to it. Because that's like, you know, it goes to something else. But that's like your neighbor telling you, oh, like, you want to play football, right? Yeah, and he's like this failed coach or this failed footballer, yeah? And he say, yo, you should go do it like this, like that. You're a failed footballer, my bro. Like, why should I listen to you? Like, that's one big thing. And then I'd rather go and speak to the coach. Because what if he says one thing and then the real coach that's successful tells me one other thing? Now you're stuck because you got a bias on both sides. So that's one big thing. Careful who you listen to. And make sure the person that you do take advice from is somebody you want to be like in whatever aspect of what that advice is meant to be from, you know, or meant to be going towards to. So if it's relationship, look at someone that has a successful relationship. If it's money, you can't ask somebody, it doesn't matter if it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, whatever it is. If they're not successful in that aspect, they can't really give you the best advice. Because they don't have any evidence to say that's the truest thing. You know? It's like someone that hasn't gone... It's like somebody that hasn't done anything in their life tells you, go to uni, go do this, go do that, and go do this. And it's like, well, what evidence have you got to show me that is the right way? You haven't got any. So I'm going to waste my time. And time is the most valuable thing. That's a universal law. Time is the most valuable thing. So cut through the bullshit. Go straight to somebody that seems to be what you want to be and learn from them. And that's one big thing as well. You know, I was going to say, because the person I said it to, they just finding it a hard time to let go of the fact that it's their parent, you know? And I was like, how are you listening to your parent, which hasn't had what you want, and they're giving you advice? Or you're looking at their lifestyle, and you're kind of, because of the bias, you're kind of constructing your life in that way. I was like, hey, that ain't gonna be me. That is not gonna be me. I'm not gonna be that stupid, you know? So that's one big thing as well. Just be careful who gives you advice, because sometimes it can be an uncle. Sometimes it can be a flipping auntie. And then you go, yeah, but why are you telling me that? Are you telling me based on your biased approach? That's like saying, like, you gotta be careful with people. Like, that's like someone who's been cheated on 20 times, and now they're telling you, hey, careful, you know? You never know that person, you know? Like, that, you know, and it's like that person had no red flags in the first place. But now you've given me an instinct of going, what the fuck do I know about this person, really? But you get what I mean? That's such a fucking, that's like, pardon the swearing, but it is what it is. That's such an important thing of careful what input you're taking in, and careful who you ask advice to. That's something, that's the biggest thing. If you can take something from this, I think that's one big thing. Careful with anyone, because the realist part for BK, that comes from listening to other people at first, and that brought him to a certain place, right? Part of it is that, because everything stems from that. The fact that why did you go to uni? There's a reason to that. Or you just wanted to wake up one day and go, I want to go uni. No, you see what I'm saying? So there's some people that are like that. Some people wake up and go, I want to be exactly that. And then look at that pathway and it says uni. I want to be a doctor. But is it because you saw it when you were young? You're like, yo, there's some people like that. That's how they get true fulfillment. They go, that's what I wanted to be since I was young. That's my inclination. Or there's people that go, you need to be a doctor now. And that's a person who hasn't got any success telling you, you should be this because doctors are successful. And that happens all the time. Go ask anyone at uni, why are you doing this degree? Oh, I don't know, like, it just seems like my mom and dad just told me, like, you know, do something. And I thought, yo, this degree is like, and you go, yeah, but I'm like, wow, you know what? Let it be. Give it the 4 or 5 years. Then you're going to have to go into work. And then that's when I realized with recruitment, how many people didn't want to do what they wanted to do and did something completely different. And you go, what the fuck was the point in that? You wasted 4 years of your life. Like, you actually wasted 4 years of your life. People can say, oh, but at least you got the degree in your back pocket. But you go, yeah, but there's people that did 4 years of work that now have close to £100,000. And what do you have? 4 years that you're never even going to use. That's when you realize that, oh, I'm stupid. Like, what did I do? That's when I realized, you know, like, there's people that I go, what the... Some people that I know, yeah, that are my age, our age, yeah, and they bought a house. Even though it's two people together, but they've been saving since 18, yeah? Because that's their prime time of saving, yeah? And that's both of them. Even if they say 50k each, that's 100k. There's some people coming out of uni broke. Does it mean that now the person's going to live a nice life in whichever way? No, it doesn't mean, there's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantees at all. But you go, because if the person did law, hey, there's a big chance they'll get more money in the long term. But you go, like, you know, but that's rare. And even then, if you hate what you're doing and you don't actually enjoy what you're doing, you do law. I've met lawyers that don't want to be lawyers. I've actually met lawyers that say it is long, but I'm stuck in it now. What am I going to do? Switch now, even though I need to get money. And that's what happens. But yeah, recapping, that's the whole point. Be careful who you listen to. That's the biggest thing. And Ty Lopez said, you know, most people are lost anyways. Most people are not where you want to be anyway. So don't listen to them. And the thing is, people then go, you know, people just don't make sense sometimes. It's like, you do realize you listening it doesn't mean someone in front of you. If you read a book, that's someone giving you advice. Who's whatever you want to be. I could read a book about a person who's had 60 years of marriage, of successful marriage, because they're happy. They're, I don't know, farmers, right? But you take the best things out of it and you take it as that and you read it and you go, that makes sense. Or I watch a YouTube video. It doesn't have to be somebody that I meet in person that tells me that. That would otherwise say I'm stupid. And one big lesson that I learned from many mentors and many people I've met that are successful is don't be stupid. In essence, just don't be stupid. Because the more stupid you are, the more mistakes you make. And the more mistakes you make, the less time you have to then change your life. And you go, oh shit, like, anyways, that's the whole point of that. But in a sense of even love and social life and stuff, two big things. Learn how to read people, right? Learn how to understand psychology in different aspects of psychology. You know, happiness. How do people gain happiness? What does it mean by, you know, aggression, passive aggression? Because you're going to deal with that. You're going to deal with everything in psychology. Because that's what we are. Psychology is the study of the human mind, the brain, right? So, yeah, learn how to read people. Just listen to books. There's one called The Evolution of Desire by one of the top most well-respected and I forgot the word anyway, but one of the top most respected evolutionary psychologists, he's one of the most cited evolutionary psychologists or even psychologists in the world, especially in modern times. And he has a book that is literally factual, straight data to tell you this is what men want, this is what women want, this is how breakups happen, this is how we stay together. Listen to them. And because that's not even about, like, even evolution of desire, yeah? It's like, what if your boss is a woman? Doesn't mean now you're trying to get with the woman. It means she's going to be looking at it from an evolutionary standpoint anyway. With everything we do is evolutionary standpoints of psychology. So, yeah, and also how to read people. You know, like, you have to be able to just sit back and really have joy in seeing the differences in people's faces. Have a joy in that. See the beauty of that, because you get to understand yourself as much as you get to understand somebody else. And as I said, life is all social anyways, you know? So, yeah, like, read books about how to read people and actually try it out, you know? With the partner you're with friends. How do you know if your friend's lying to you? You have to pay attention to that. Where they're looking, is it right, left, or there is no specific cue, but it's the art of understanding in a quick thinking motion, you know, or not motion, but a quick thinking decision of what's happening. Of, oh, yeah, I think they're lying to me. How do you get to that? Like having the fingertip feel, like in war, it's by going through it, trying things. But yeah, anyways, I think I went long-winded. So the whole point is, first of all, careful who you listen to, especially love life, if that's not something you want to be like, you know, the person. But that's in general of life. Be careful who you listen to. Just be careful who you listen to. If it's not the person you want to be like, don't listen to them. Hear it, but don't listen. Don't pay attention to it and skip it. And yeah, and learn how to read people. Learn how to read people and learn about yourself, psychology. Study psychology, even if you don't study it professionally. Just because that's what you deal with. Life is all social life, you know? And yeah, anyways, I went a long-winded one. But yeah, anything to add to that, G? Or we can go to the next point, whatever it is.
No, not really. I think you stated what should have been said. Yeah, I think a lot of good tips and points there that you said. So.
No, yeah, it's definitely, you know what? Yeah, just look around you. I think just be someone that just pays attention to everything. As we said even in the first video, I think we said that, you know, be cautious of things, but be curious about things. Be both, in that sense.
I would say one thing. This is one thing that probably why I'm the way I am, and I'm not saying I don't care about anyone else, but I just don't. I don't have like an eyesight towards what anyone else is doing. This is what I think. This is the thing I call it, is block out the noise. So there's 3 concepts of this when you block out the noise. One is what Rocky literally said, where when people try to give you advice, and it's a thing, it's just like, they're in like probably the most maddest situation, but they're telling you what to do or how your life should be and that. Brother or female or whoever's listening to it, sister, don't listen to that. That's just noise. Seriously, that is just noise. Whatever you, because you know where it is, it's like, especially with the older lot, it's the thing is, it's like, one thing my mom said this, my own mother said this. She was like, I explained to her what someone said to me, and this person's close to me. And she said to me, oh, that person's scared. She fully said herself, that person's scared. They're scared of the risk. They just want to play it safe. And she knows herself that risk gets you to a nice certain point. Don't mean the risk. I don't mean risky with the risk. I don't mean you.
Yeah.
I mean risk. Like, I don't mean like a crazy risk. I mean, when you invest in something or you believe in something so much, you risk it. Not risk it for a biscuit and none of that nonsense. I mean, you risk it and you try to see it through. You see it out where it can go, and you invest. You work your ass off and you put your investments into that. My mom said to me that person's scared. They're scared of the risk. She said to me, I know you. I know what you're like. I know how ambitious you are. She said that to me. And she said, you will never be scared of the risk. You remember that. So don't be scared of the risk. Because personally, I ain't scared of the risk. You're definitely not scared of the risk.
No.
Being risky since... oh, don't want to say that. But yeah, we've been risky, innit? But yeah. So that's one thing. And then another thing is this. People, please don't do this one thing. Do not do this, because I used to do it a lot, especially when we was in college. Look at what other people has, what they've got, what they're wearing. Like they're in a relationship, or they got a house, they got a nice car, their photos, they look happy and all of that stuff. I swear it's noise. It's noise. You never want noise in your head, because you get a headache and then you start feeling a certain way, and that affects you in your performance in life, meaning your days will get numbered, and then you start feeling a bit down because you're looking at other people's life. Don't get into people's life. Don't do that. Don't be looking at, especially these celebrities, man, or these. Don't just block out the noise. It's all noise. Focus on you. You have to focus on yourself. Especially, you got to focus on yourself. What Maverick said about the couple, whoever, about buying a house. Yeah, that's nice. That's them. But your time will come. You have to believe that. And that's what I literally taught myself. No one even said it to me. It's just that I remember when one of my brethren, we're chilling, innit? We just... we did a grind. We're chilling after. We're just chilling now. And then he's on Instagram. He's showing me a video, and it's like these lot are like having fun, and they're in like Ibiza or something like that.
Yeah.
Or was it Ibiza? I don't care. I ain't never going there. It's not for me. And they're having fun, all that stuff. And he's like, I wish I was there. I was like, why?
Yeah,
You don't know what situation they're in. They could have gone there just so they can get out of the situation. They have to come back. They got to come back to the situation, whatever it is. They could be in a good situation financially or whatever, or they just go away because they want to get out of whatever atmosphere they're in. You never know what's going on with people. So that's why I'm saying, when you look at people's like life on socials, yeah, it's just noise. Block it all out. Damn. But yeah.
And I will say as well, but it's true as well, what BK said 100, but you should listen to that. That was some hard advice. And it's like, the only thing I would say to that, stick to yourself, but only take what is beneficial from other people.
Yeah.
Only that. Otherwise, don't. If you see someone that has a house and you go, but now they're teaching, they said, this is how I got it.
Yeah.
You go, oh.
Never hate on them. Just look at them and not study them. That's a bit weird, but
No, it is study them.
oh no, yeah,
The
no,
processes,
yeah, no.
yeah.
Oh, I was thinking stalker, but no,
Yeah.
nah. You study them, and it's like right, so that's the way to move because you never know what their mentality is. They might be a person that you might be wanting to strive for, or they might be the person that you already that kind of is like you, and they might be the most humblest person. But I'm just saying, if you're a person that gets like envy or jealous quite quickly, I'll give you advice. Don't even delete Instagram and just delete the Instagram, delete TikTok. Might as well delete YouTube at this point as well, and Twitter. Focus on yourself because you're not going nowhere, especially if you're jealous. That is a dangerous thing. It is a dangerous thing because it creates hate. And I've been in that type of atmosphere, and I've had that type of energy near me, and I don't like it at all. And I don't want to say what happened, but it's not good, especially because then it destroys it destroys your relationship with people. And also if you meet other people and they say what they're doing and how their life is going and that, and you're starting to, then it's like your attitude towards them is dull, man. It's like rude, terrible. If you're jealous and you get envy quickly, block out the noise, turn everything off, focus on yourself. I'll be honest with you. And that is, I had something else, but I probably forgot it. But that, I'm just gonna push that and leave that with you. One thing that Risky said, and what Rocky said on Sticking to the Real podcast: block the noise out, block it out. Otherwise, you're not going nowhere. That's one thing.
100%. I would say two things that I've learned that you can actually utilize, right? So I was reading Robert Greene, and he said one way to get rid of the jealousy and envy or anything like that, and actually to feel happier in your life, which is actually it's not about strategy, it's about actual fulfillment in life, is actively look to find the same feeling the person is feeling when they gain something. So actually try and feel excited about that person's news. Like actually feel it. Like if someone tells you, oh, I just bought a house, you don't have the house, but you go, like actually try to be like, wow, like I love it for you. Even you trying puts that shift in your mindset to feel good about life, even though you rub off on them and they rub off on you. So it's a win-win, because you can't gain anything. Like you can't just say, oh, I want a house now, and you don't. Like, it doesn't do anything for you. But if you feel happy towards it, like someone bought a house and you feel happy towards it, you say, oh, congratulations, you really mean it. You now feel happier, and in the end, it makes you want to grind harder, because you've now gained that feeling they got, which actually got them to that state. Yeah, because excitement. How can excitement get them to that place? But they had to be excited about their work. If they weren't, you can't get to a big accomplishment like that. You know. So if you're feeling the same excitement by actually actively trying to feel excitement, you then rub off on them, as I said, and they rub off on you, and you actually get a win-win situation, and you can build off of that. You know, you can go home and you feel like, you know what, I actually feel so happy about it. It's like when the Sam Kinnick guy, the sport massage person, I really admire his life. I really admire it. For 28, you've done really well. You got more than £1 million house. Like even that itself, right? But when he told me that about what he achieved, I came out of there so excited. I was like, that's possible? I went home and I was like, listen, we got to get on this grind, because he did it. And I was happy for him as well. Anytime I see something about his journey, I'm happy about it. And I actively try to, because if I don't, what do I gain if I was envious? It doesn't bring me towards grinding towards that, and it doesn't bring me to a nice place anyway. So that's the whole point. Try and actively be excited or feel the same sensation or feeling that a person is feeling there and then when they're excited about something and happy. If I have that, and you won't feel jealous, I'm telling you, the jealousy will just go out the window, you know. And the second thing, this is the second thing that I got here, was from someone else, because I viewed what they did, right? So what BK was saying about social media and being careful what you take in, you know, because it can create a lot of unrealistic expectations. and also envy because you're looking at someone else's life, but you don't know what it took to get there. Go on.
No, sorry. And also, it's like I've heard from people where they've spent ages on just looking at our individual's life on Instagram because the person has shared so much, like in photos and videos, and they've just waited 2 hours.
Or it's even like, you know, and I'll get to my point as well, but you know, like when people watch, I don't know what, MTV Cribs, let's say, I don't know any the equivalent now, and you just watched an hour of someone showing you a big house, you're not gonna get that house. You're wasting your time. You're actually probably gonna get jealous, because you look at their happiness, and they are actually in that house, and look around you after. It's different. So you have to be careful of that as well. You know, listen to people. Just stick to your thing and just take the best thing you can and utilize that. But one thing I was gonna say is, I don't know, I just took this and I thought this was hard. Like, it was from a guy that owns a clothing brand, but he does really well for himself. Like, especially at the moment as well. I think he's like, I want to say he's endorsed by like J Hus, but he knows J Hus through that because he created the name of one lyric from J Hus. And I was like, wow. And the reason why I admire him as well is because when he has his laptop in his work desk, right? Because I was speaking to him, he has pictures, like he printed them out and put tape on them, and they're like mansion here, like you get it, a nice car here, all the things he wants to achieve, but they are just pictures. So it's not like he's got someone in that and he's looking at a video. So anytime he's working, he just has to look up, and it's a picture of something he wants. That is just, I think that's top tier, because you first of all, you have you spend less time on social media because of that. You already get the result you're looking for anyway. The result you're looking for when you're on social media is to feel better about your situation by creating a future expectation. By thinking, oh, that's a nice house, I'm gonna get to that one day. But you just wasted time and you just got envious because you've seen somebody else have it, you know? But instead you have actual pictures there. So when you're doing your work, you look up and you feel that motivation without having to spend endless time on social media and becoming envious or whatever it is about somebody else's lifestyle, you know? And that's how you do. I think that's such a, if you can do that, do it, in my opinion. Have pictures of things and be motivated to go, I'm gonna get to that. But anyways, anything else we got to say about anything else, really?
No, not really.
Actually, I'm trying to think what else. You know, I think I'll share a story as well that I shared to BK earlier about, we think we overcomplicate life to the biggest extent. Like, it's just what we do as human beings, but oh my days, like, we really destroy our own lives. We are our own self-destructive entity and mechanism and all these words, whatever, you know, to describe we are our own worst enemy. Because I was having a situation at uni which was long, and I wasted the day, and I have days counting where it's like I've got actual days where, you know, X amount of days to go, then I've got a big thing like the exams or whatever, and I wasted the day. And as I went on the train, like, I just looked kind of, you know, you look to see when you're getting into the train because you're in London, everybody has to look where they're going to sit, right? And I saw this, like, a young black guy and a young black woman, right? I don't know how to say black, it's just two young people, right? But whichever way, just describing what I saw, right? And they look like good-looking people, like, you get it? Like, you know, it's not something gay or straight, it's just, you can just recognize what a person is. They look young, they look like people that you've mixed with, you know? So I sat down, but as I sat down, like, it revealed to me more than just what the eye saw. Because I looked into the mirror, into the window, and I saw the guy was communicating with his hands. And straight away you think death, right? I mean, so I looked further, I swear to God, the happiness in his face his face and her face will forever remain in my consciousness of just what life is, right? Because you're deaf, but you're taking the best out of the situation. That is crazy. Like, I was like, you know, when you see the happiness like that and you think, wow, it doesn't take much, you know? And the thing is, we take for granted speaking and all these things, the ability to communicate in such a way, right? Which is such a gift. To not have the, they communicate as well with hands and but have their own way. But really, the true communication is by speaking, you can say body language, but it's really speaking. When you do anything, it's just by speaking. How can you call someone and you can't speak, really, because you can't understand how to really conjugate verbs and articulate yourself. You can only sign language. Could you imagine? No. But they were just happy. And I'm there sitting there. The whole point was like, I'm there feeling so rubbish about my situation. It was also not just uni. It was also a situation with somebody else. It was like an ending to a relationship, which ended in betrayal. And I was like, and I was saying to BK, it was a girl that I was seeing. But when they betray you in such a way, it really shifts a lot, and you go, like, everything just seemed to be worse. But then when I looked and I was like, wow, like, that is the beauty of life. Because they may not have the best, like, who knows what they have? They may not even have the best house. But that happiness is something that we all look for. We all search for that. And they found it by understanding each other and understanding that life is more than what we overcomplicate it as. Now, that's my own interpretation, 100%. But it makes sense, logically, A lot of things, like, how many things make you feel worse because you just overcomplicate them, just for everything, Oh, I haven't got millions of subscribers. Oh, this person is this. You just overcomplicated your life. Why do you need that? Mm-hmm. Now you feel like shit because you put something in your mind that is not needed, And it's like a lot of things, even about life, right? So, as a man, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird thing. As a man, you have all these things about you can't show weakness. You can't, it's like the biggest thing. You can't show weakness. You can't cry. You can't do this. You can't do that. You get it? Or otherwise, it seems as weak. But you go, who the fuck am I living for? Like, why do I care what you think of me? That's like for yourselves. Like, you should not care, and it's as cliche. You should care, but you should not care. You should care about people's opinions if you're doing something that's stupid, and you need that because it's just, love and social life is what life is. But you shouldn't listen to everybody's things and all these things. But yeah, it was just such a interesting situation. Like, someone said to me, like, oh, you don't want to show weakness by sending a text to say, like, like after that happens, to say, yo, let's speak about something, like, let's set the, because I like, for me as a person, I think for most people, to gain an understanding of things is important in life, in my opinion, with a lot of things. Not always, but with a lot of things. And it was just like, oh, if you text the person, it seems as weak. And I was like, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care because I know myself. So that's the number one thing we said in the first podcast, in the first episode. What is confidence? All these things. It's your own self-belief, self-visualization, like the visualization of itself, and so many other aspects. Go watch it. 100% you will learn so many things in that episode, right? So watch the first one. But yeah, like, I'm confident in myself. I don't really care, So I just said, why should I care if someone thinks I'm weak? If you think I'm weak, yeah, how funny is that, yeah? If you now think I'm weak, then you never knew me in the first place. You just didn't know me, because clearly I'm not. So the fact that you now think that because of one thing, you're the fool. I'm not the fool. And you know what? I don't mind it. Ha, that guy's weak. Well, I'm not, motherfucker. Well, I'm not, motherfucker. Apologies for the swearing. But yeah, and that's one big thing. Just stop. So, be careful of those cliches in that sense, and stop over magnifying the stupidness of life in so many ways. That overcomplicating things that don't need to be overcomplicated, like that. Like sending a text because you think is weak, or so many other things. What other examples would you say? Even that we overcomplicate uni and life, and even like that, like going, if I don't get to this uni thing, life's gonna be so shit. And who the fuck said that? That's from school even. Or if you don't go to uni, you're going to be a failure. I'm sorry, but now you're overcomplicating my life because everything's gonna be based around that, and that's not true. Life is simpler than that. Life is so much simpler. It's like, also, example, yeah? It's like even with women, in a sense of what I realize, it's like playing games. Oh, don't show too much interest. It's like, no, do what you want to do, yeah? But the difference is when they say that is have goals for yourself. That's with anybody. Imagine you text your friend 24/7. Like, get on your own grind kind of thing as well. It's both, right? But it's like overcomplicating it with steps. It's even with business, anything. Overcomplicate, do this strategy, that strategy. Sometimes just simple. Sometimes we just, what the fuck are we thinking? Like, go back to the drawing board. As Biki was saying, that's a good concept. Go back to the drawing board and look. You know, and that's when you become realistic and you realize that you're overcomplicating most shit in your life. So careful of that. Realize that in yourself. Question yourself. Am I just overblowing this whole concept of whatever I'm thinking? Of what is a perfect relationship meant to be like? Just fucking do whatever you gotta do. Like, be simple about it. Be simple. Health. Oh, I gotta take this, I gotta take that, I gotta do this, It's like, no you don't. Like, if you work out, how simple is that? It's just think of simplistic things and your life will be so much more peaceful. Simply, how do you get health without overcomplicating so much bullshit? It's be active, literally be active. And if you can, and more preferably as well, it's very important to have strength training, just because of how the cells work. You know, your muscle mass and all these things, but how the cells work, you need some form of resistance. But also just walking. If you walk 15,000 steps a day, you're gonna be healthy. And if you just eat well, eat balanced, eat enough where you don't keep overeating, eat until you feel full enough, and that's it. Don't completely, not 100% full, 80% full. And then you can have 3 different meals, like, or whatever it is, That's simplifying it, because that's when you get what diet do you, what nutrition type are you going for, or what diet are you going for? Are you going for paleo? Are you going for whatever, like keto? Are you going for like keto diet where it's like all meat?
Sounds like a Naruto character.
No, it's like ketogenic or whatever. I think it's like high fat and high protein and like less, like hardly any carbs. And yes, there's health benefits. Or there's like carnivore diet. And you go like, and that's like all meat and that's it, basically. Or some veg, but mainly meat. You wake up, have a steak. And it's like,
wake up, have a steak.
Yeah, that's what carnivore.
Like
so you go, and then that's when it happens. You go, fuck, how do I get healthy? What the fuck do I eat? It's like, brother, calm down. Just eat normal. Eat a plate of this. Or eat some carbohydrate here. Eat some a portion of meat that's whatever it's meant to say, like a fist or whatever. And just have that. And have that preferably with every meal. 3 meals in a day. And eat enough. And if you can, track your calories. Even then, if it overcomplicates it sometimes, if you want to get to that point, yes. But just eat that. And that's when you go, if I go out, and even just overrule that. And then the importance of understanding everything about biochemistry of how the cells work. Oh, fucking hell. When the fuck am I going to need that? In my uni, that, oh my God, biochemistry. It's like, motherfucker. Try and teach that to a person, how the cells work in your carbohydrates and how that relates to your body. Yeah, to some extent, you need to know that if you want to go in that field. But fuck me, that you're overcomplicating shit. You realize this in how even the lectures work. So you're telling me 80% of what the fuck I'm learning I will never use, and only 20%. So you just overcomplicated my life by telling me, by the way, I'll give you 70 slides, but now I'm going to give you a list of topics, and most of the slides are going to be bullshit in the sense of what you don't need. So why the fuck are you overcomplicating my life in that sense? Just tell me what I need to know and simplify it. But that's overruling yourself as well, Anyways, we're on some crazy, but the whole point is, don't overcomplicate your life, and look at some of the beauties of life as well. That's the biggest thing. Both correlate with one another. And I even forgot my other point, but yeah. Have you today's episode? Me and BK was saying we didn't really plan it. Really, it's more understanding what we've gone through in the last 2 months. But yeah, anything else?
Reflection.
Yeah, reflections.
Call it the reflection episode, isn't it?
Exactly, the reflections episode. There you go. BK got it. Well, let's say, look, life itself, health, wealth, love, or social life, and happiness. Any fulfillment, yeah, happiness or fulfillment, both. But anything else that you said before, or that you learned? In the meantime, let me think of one as well. But yeah, it's just interesting. Life is just how much can happen in 2 months. Oh my days, it's crazy. But the biggest one, I'm telling you, the biggest thing that will dictate your whole life is who the fuck are you listening to? And are they the person you want to be like? Because if they're not, your life will be utter shit. Utter shit. That's why I emphasize that. Your life will be utter shit. Because your whole life, you're never going to know what career you want to do. You never know what kind of money you want. You're never going to know what kind of wife or partner, whatever you want. You're never going to know what kind of friends you want. You're never going to know what social group to be around completely. Also, let me say something as well. Because this is about, like, what I said to someone. People and cultures. Oh, the stupidity in some people. Like, I'm going to be cooking on this one now. This is going to be some revenge.
Maybe you should say that for the next episode.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Let's not cook yet.
Yeah, I was about to cook right there.
We just need the fire on it.
Cooking. Oh. Oh, honestly. But anyways, maybe we'll go on to the next one about that. But honestly, just cultures. Let me just say that. But yeah, I don't think anything else really. That's like the main things. About love. Careful as well with that sense. But yeah, BK is saying, as what BK was saying about realistic expectations of things and understanding that. Being careful with that. Don't get too far to the point where you should have been realistic 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because that's what happens.
Yeah, it's too late.
Because that's what happens with people that do 2 years of uni, for example. Yeah. They've got another 2 years. So they'll do the other 2 years and then realise they were not wanting to do that in the first place. Now you've just... Well, I'm not talking about uni, that's with anything, but that's to give an example of time set, because you can only do 4 years, or not only, but it's like 4 years, so you know what expectancy to have. With the role, with jobs, you just never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to grow completely in 3 years, or if you're going to get to 2 years, and now you're at standstill for 3 years, and you're never going to know if after that third year, the fourth year will be something you learn, because of how life changes, right? But yeah, in that aspect, I think we covered mainly most, like health, even about overcomplicating stuff. Just be simple about things, with health. How do you get healthy? Well, health is everything. Health is, what I mean by that is, health is many aspects in one. How is your social life? That affects your health massively. How is your mental health? If it's shit, you're not healthy. How is your diet really? How are you taking care of your body? If that's not in the optimal, standard and efficiency, then you're never gonna be healthy, quote unquote. And I think that's the main ones really. It's like psychology of itself, social life. That's a big thing. And I think even your body, the cellular level of your body. Is it healthy? But yeah, I think that's the main things. What happened?
It's more than an hour.
Oh my days. But yeah, that's it.
But yeah, no.
Little reflections, not little, long reflections.
Long reflection, man. Nah, man. Probably split this up in two. Yeah, it was good to be back.
Exactly, we'll be uploading more regular. Don't worry about that.
Well,
a white man handshake.
Well, no, not that. Yeah. Rocky,
BK,
sticking to the real.
episode 3. Let's go.